The reason we were doing this in Lake Erie, first off, it's a close lake, it's a very big lake, but back in the 70s, they had a very bad cyanobacteria bloom problem then. And it was getting so bad that it was smelling to high heaven, and it was curtailing fishing and all other lake activity, sports activity. At that time, people weren't aware that these were also very toxic at times. They just didn't like the sight and smell of them, especially when they got to big blooms. Well, they took the phosphate out of the detergents by law in the 70s, I think the 70s. And this, all of a sudden, cleaned up Lake Erie because a lot less phosphate was going into the water than previous. About the late 90s, we started seeing cyanobacteria again. And in the past few years, especially since 2003, this has really started increasing again. Now, phosphate is a nutrient, just like nitrogen is. But many cyanobacteria can fix nitrogen from the air, and they don't need additional nitrogen, but they do need phosphate. Green algae can use either of those as nutrients. So if, in particular, if you've got a lot of phosphate, it favors the cyanobacteria because the green algae don't need them as much. They've got the nitrogen there, but a lot of the cyanobacteria that can't, that fix their own nitrogen from the atmosphere need phosphate from the water. Now the phosphate, we think, is coming from agricultural activity and waste that's going into the lake from wastewater treatment plants and broken septic systems, that kind of thing.